of your grade 11 classes today. Yes. So let's have a chat. Okay. Before we start off with the real class. The 11th standard, you need to understand. Say, I always do this. Start our class. 7th of April. Fine. Can you hear me clearly? No problem. Can you hear me? Let's see, Rohit. I'm going to write 3 words here. Fine. You will tell the meaning of it. Okay. Good. And the word number 1. The YouTube can watch. Sadhana can also observe the board. Fine. So I have written the word. What's the meaning of this word? The vehicle. Right? Now I write a second word. I have written a word. Can you read? Yes, you can read. Can you read? Sadhana, can you read what I have written? Hello. Very good morning. சொல்லுங்க சார். அங்க உள்ளலாம் போக வேணாம் சார். போக வேண்டாம். நீங்க மெயின் ரோட்லயே பஸ் ஸ்டாப் இருக்கு பாருங்க. அப்படியே பஸ் ஸ்டாப்புக்கு மேல. கங்கா மொபைல்ஸுக்கு அடுத்த நீங்க அந்த ஸ்ட்ரீட் எடுத்தீங்க இல்லையா? அந்த ஸ்ட்ரீட்டை தொட்டடுத்த பில்டிங் சார். அந்த கார்னர் பில்டிங் மேல இந்த மெக்ரனட் பேக்கரி இருக்கும். பேக்கரியோட செகண்ட் ஃப்ளோர். மெக்ரனட் பேக்கரியோட செகண்ட் ஃப்ளோர். Okay, second word. Sadhana, sorry. Can you read the word, Sadhana? Do you read Tamil? Very good. And here is a third word. What's the meaning of this word? You're not sure. Very good. You? Not sure either. Let's say the third word here. Yes. Read this. Can you read it? And at least, can you recognize what language is this? It could be possibly. Yes, yes, it is Malayalam. 100% it is Malayalam. Fine. So now you have 3 words in front of you. There is a word which you can read and understand. There is another word which you can only read but you cannot understand. There is a third word which you can't read, hence can't understand. Correct? Am I right? Something like this, we have plenty of equations. You can read some equations and you can understand what are. You can read some equations, fine, and you can only read them. You cannot understand them technically. And then comes the third. God bless. 1 hour 15 minutes. Around 12 o'clock, you please come at 12 o'clock. If you want to stay also, you can stay. No problem. Yes, please. Be my guest. Yes. Fine. Now you see the differences here. Harini, I have written 3 words here. Okay, I want you to tell the meaning of all 3. Okay, okay. You don't know what is Nara. Okay, that's sad. Then, just asking. I asked you. Please try. Does it look like Tamil to you? You could not even read it. Actually, it's Malayalam. Fine, maybe. Fine. So the exercise that we are doing now is to understand something very fundamental. That is, there are some words which you can read as well as you can understand and you can comprehend. And there are words you can just only read, but you cannot comprehend. And there is a third word which you can't even read. Do you get it? Like this, in every language, we have the information that are written in this way. So equally to these words, how we have language of this kind, we have one more language also, that is what the mathematics. Got it? So I can write an equation here. B is equal to I times R. B is equal to I times R. So it is a very familiar equation. Or I can F is equal to M into E. Mass times acceleration. This is another equation very familiar to you. These are the equations you can read as well as you can comprehend. What is V equals I times R? You may say, God bless you. Please, can you switch your video on? Welcome. So you can take a notebook and start noting, okay? Later I'll introduce myself. Got it? So that is the second case. And P is equal to IR. What does it mean? You know, this is voltage applied across the two ends of a conductor, and this is the current which you observe in the conductor. Yes, sir. Fine, sir. And R is a property that has come out because of this activity that we got to learn. That conductor has a property that has a nature in it called as its nature to oppose the natural flow. So you let the charges flow, then you identify that this fellow is not allowing me to do so. So we understood that. So this is the equation which you can read as well as little bit you can comprehend. Am I right? The equations உங்களால படிக்கவும் முடியும், உங்களால புரிஞ்சுக்கவும் முடியும், இதை பத்தி உங்களால எனக்கு explain பண்ணவும் முடியும். And then comes another equation which I may write. So I can write something like magnetic field is equal to integral of 0 by 4 pi and I dot dl over r squared theta. Now I have written a formula. This formula you can read, but you cannot explain what is. Am I right? There are some strange symbols are there, integration symbol, which may not be familiar to you. Am I right? This is the second set of equations. And there are some equations you don't even know how to read them. Something like this. Fine. And sadhana thing. A very dangerous equation. It's a dangerous equation called Hamiltonian equation. Fine. It talks about the energy. So there are, just like the way here we have 3 words. The first set of word which you can read and understand. And second set of word, right, which you can only read, and the third one is can't even read. Similarly, you have the set of equations which you can read and understand. Second, you just can read, and the third one is you can't even read. So I have absolute comfort with these two guys. I am very well, I am very happy with these two guys. The real problem is this one. The reason is, when you just can read it, you believe that you know. The true enemy of our knowledge is not the ignorance, children. It is the illusion of knowledge. So, children can read this equation and immediately they start to think that they know it already. So, when some technical question is asked about it, children get stumbled. Best explanation I can give, Sadhana, the other day you came, I asked you the difference between the three words. You remember this? Area, surface, and the third one is plane. We all know these three words. And I asked your friend the other day, what is the difference between these three words? Can you try? It's also for a surface, rectangular surface, spherical surface. Can you give me a precise explanation for that? Only when we disturb our minds with right set of questions, then you will get to know, yes, I totally agree with 80% of your answer is correct. Only problem is your answer needs to be little more collected. Fine. So what you said is correct. Sir, it's a measure, sir. It's a measure. Where this is the existence. This is the representation. Plane is XY plane. Y is Z plane. That is just a representation. We use this to represent this. And area is the measure of it. I am not just going to only represent it. I am going to measure it. See, for example, I'm saying இன்னைக்கு வெயில் ரொம்ப ஜாஸ்தியா இருக்கு. இன்னைக்கு ரொம்ப வெயில் ஜாஸ்தியா இருக்கு. வெயில் அடிக்குதுங்கிறது இது. இன்னைக்கு வெயில் ஜாஸ்தியா இருக்குங்கிறது இது. இன்னைக்கு வெயில் 37 டிகிரி இருக்குங்கிறது. Do you understand? So in each statement, I mean the same information. But இன்னைக்கு வெயில் அடிக்குது, இன்னைக்கு வெயில் ஜாஸ்தியா இருக்கு, இன்னைக்கு வெயில் 38 டிகிரி இருக்கு, 39 டிகிரி இருக்கு. So this is the place where you go with some number and some unit. And this is just you observe that is naturally occurring. And this is according to your perspective you try to say. Fine. So before you start to comprehend anything with respect to grade 11 and 12, grade 11 and 12 physics and math and chemistry, right? This is the first step that you are getting into the higher order of your learning journey. And this is your first step. Okay. So up to the grade 10, everything is like a child's play, like a cartoon. It is just designed only for young minds, like children. Fine. And once you come to the grade 11, then the demand is high and your techniques should be new, relatively new. See, for example, I would say, fine, you have used a lot of techniques and tricks to learn the subjects till your grade 10, and that might have helped you scoring better marks. Fine, but when it comes to the grade 11 and 12 altogether, it's a different ball of game. Got it? So here your old techniques will not help you to face the new challenges. You have to develop the new techniques, new tricks. You have to revive yourself. You have to upgrade yourself. Fine. So any student who is just thinking, okay, I scored good mark in grade 10, I scored centum in grade 10 math, so it will be easy for me naturally to crack. Yes, of course, it will give you an edge. But if you stick on to the same trick and technique that you practiced for the past 10 years in the grade 11 also, and obviously, you will have to revamp your strategy. Fine. The marks will tell you otherwise. Got it? So that is the first statutory warning, right? I am giving you all about the grade 11. Clear? And you need to understand it. Today I'll show you something from a totally different perspective. And I'll ask something very interesting to you. What is this? Kindly don't tell me it is Mickey Mouse. Do you see something on board? What is this? This is called H2O, your water molecule. Okay? It's called H2O, your water molecule. Let's imagine you take a katana sword. You take a sword and you just cut this molecule into two pieces. You cut this molecule into two pieces. As soon as you cut the molecule into two pieces, one side you have Hs are plus, O is negative. Here H is plus and here O is negative. So once you cut it, the two halves, they equally have the positive and negative. The two halves equally have what? Positive and negative. As opposed to that, suppose if I cut the same molecule horizontally, something like this. Suppose if I cut the molecule horizontally like this. Instead of cutting it vertically, if I cut it horizontally like this, what will happen? One side will be positive rich side, other side will be negative rich side. Do you agree? Do you agree? Okay. So that is the reason why water molecule naturally has the polarity in it, split polarity. That's the reason why you call water as what's a polar solid. You know, you must have learned in grade 9 chemistry solutions lesson. There are two types of molecules known. One is polar, other is non-polar. Have you ever asked why the materials you call them as polars or polars? You can take the HCl molecule. Fine, hydrochloric acid, H2O. Fine, sir. These compounds generally, when you try to divide these compounds from any direction, when you try to divide these compounds from any direction, fine, sir, they should always maintain the electrical neutrality between the left half and right half. If they maintain, they are non-polar because there is no polarity difference in them. So they are non-polar. Suppose you take a molecule and cut it in one direction, you get polarity. In other direction, you don't get. Then they are polar. Got it? So ideally, this is the way how this thing should be taught. நமக்கு தெரியும் நம்ம நம்பிட்டு இருக்கிற விஷயத்தை I can bring out what a few more questions. Okay, let's go into the mathematical part of it. Fine. By 11 o'clock, I'll start the trigonometric essentials. 11 to 11:30 we can go. Fine. So the course is constructed in this way. I will not go to the chapter 1 straight away. So bare minimum of around 4 classes, I will give you the basic mathematics, because basic mathematics is the language in which physics is spoken. So you need to understand the basic language. You have to understand the basic through a lot of activity, through a lot of, right? And in this process, my primary job is to demystify a lot of misunderstandings which you carry in your mind. That is my second job. Fine. Let's see. One after. Can I clean this? Did you understand? Okay, in lower class, you all must have heard of this. Multiplication is repeated addition. Multiplication is what's a repeated addition. Amandana? Yes. Now, please tell me 8 kilogram of rice plus 4 liter of water equal to. Let's say otherwise. 8 kilogram of rice or a mass plus 4 meter per second of speed is equal to. இதை விட இது இன்னும் better கேள்வி. Can anyone add and tell me? The basic question I'm asking. Can you add and tell me? No, you cannot add. You cannot add. Because the rule number 1 in 4 arithmetic operations, especially the addition and subtraction, can be done only between the similar quantities. 4 kilogram plus 8 kilogram possible. Even 4 kilogram minus 8 kilogram is also possible. You will go for efficiency. Got it? So the addition is possible only between the similar quantities. Whereas multiplication, 4 kilogram of mass multiplied by 8 kilogram of mass multiplied by 4 meter per second. Very well, I can do. This is mass. This is velocity. What do you call this quantity? Linear momentum. So multiplication is possible between dissimilar quantities, whereas addition is possible only between similar quantities. Then how come multiplication is addition? Got it? So I understand something very basic here. Fine. What do we understand here is when it comes to the arithmetic operators, addition, subtraction, multiplication, that is the product, and the quotient, division. Fine, sir. Sum, difference, product, and quotient. When it comes to these 4 operators, they behave differently when the numbers are alone, and they behave differently when the numbers are accompanied by some unit. Got it? So I cannot treat everything in the same way. Best example, another example I'll show you. Very interesting. So this is the place where the real fun begins. $340 plus 45 is equal to. Very good. 380. The answer is 385. Good. So now 340 degree plus 45 degree is equal to. Seriously? Did you understand the question? Did you understand the question? 345 plus 45 is equal to 385. I agree. 340 degree plus 45 degree. Apo, in the number, the operation called addition, this operation called addition, நான் arithmetica add பண்ணின விஷயம் எப்போ அது டிகிரி ஆயிடுச்சோ அப்போ என்னால் அந்த ஸ்டாண்டர்ட் மெத்தடை யூஸ் பண்ண முடியாது. I have to use a different method. I have to use a different method. இதுல நீங்க என்ன தெரிஞ்சுக்கணும்னா நம்ம கிட்ட ஏற்கனவே நமக்கு தெரிஞ்சிருக்கிற மெத்தட்ஸ் அது எல்லாத்துக்கும் ஒரு லிமிடேஷன் இருக்கு. அப்போ ஒரு ஸ்டூடெண்ட் வந்து எதை எங்கே யூஸ் பண்ணணும்னு தெரியும். See, for best example I'll write. Let's keep it here. So the sin theta and the cos theta, these two values, let's write. For 0 degree, 30 degree, 45 degree, 60 degree, then 90 degree for now. I hope you all know the values of, okay? Kindly guide me, any one of you onliners, any one of you, Murtula or Sadhana, anyone? Sin 0, yes. Sin 0 is 0, very good. Sin 30 is 1 by 2, very good. 1 by root 2, very good. Root 3 over 2, good. Very good. So can you see this one? Tell this one, cos theta. Yes. 1 root 3 over 2, 1 by root 2 by 2. Very good. I hope everyone is aware of this, am I right? Can anyone tell why? That's correct, sir. I'm asking why sine 0 is 0. Why sine 0, cos 0 is 1. Yes, sir. We'll put a right triangle right now. Yes, I will put a right triangle. This is right triangle. Full right triangle. Normal triangle. That is a சாதாரணமா ஒரு triangle, sir. Okay, சாதாரணமா ஒரு triangle. Okay, so let's call it A, B, and okay, A, sir. Let me take A. So you mean to say the trigonometry will applicable only for the equilateral triangles? Only for the right triangles. It's not applicable for the non-right triangles. Sure, 100%. Only for right triangle. This is what I wanted to break. Exactly what I wanted. Have you ever heard of this formula? A squared plus B squared minus 2AB cos theta. This is called as the cosine's law. It's called as the cosine's law. There are two laws in physics. One is called as the sine law, other is the cosine law. Let me come back to what is sine and what is cosine in a while. Fine. The trigonometry means what, sir? Metry means measure. Gono means angle. Ideally, this is the time when you should start taking notes. Fine, sir. So, gono means what, sir? Angle. Metry means measure. Gono means angle. Tri means three. Trigonometry. Study of measure of three angles made by three lines. தமிழ்ல இதை ரொம்ப அழகா சொல்லுவாங்க, திரிகோணமிதின்னு சொல்லுவாங்க. I studied through Tamil medium through. Fine. So trigonometry. Polygon means what? What do you mean by a polygon? A square is a dash polygon. Four-sided polygon. Am I right? Polygon, one gon, right? Monogon, digon, trigon, one angle, two angles, three angles. Poly means what? Many angles. So polygon is something first angle, second angle, third angle, and fourth angle. So square is a polygonal, right? Four-sided polygon. We'll talk about that in a while. We'll discuss. But before we go to that, I'll tell you this part. Now here we have what's a sine 0, 1. Okay, let me rewrite the same value so that it will be much convenient for me. Zero is 0. 1 by 2 can be written as 0.5. 1 by 2 is 0.5, correct? So 1 by root 2. How much is 1 by root 2? I'll tell you the correct meaning of it. Root 2 is equal to 1.414. Am I right? Root 2 is equal to 1.414. 1 by root 2 is 0.707. 0.707. And root 3 over 2 is 0.866. And finally, it is going to be 1. So, very easy number. So, the other way around. Here, 1, 0.866 and 0.707. And then finally, what's that? 0.5. Here it is going to be. And when I see all these numbers, I can rewrite these numbers in this way. This is 100 divided by 100. This is 86.6 divided by 100. This is 70.7 divided by 100. This is 50 over 100. And this is 0 over 100. So basically, what is this? 100%. This is 86.6%. And this is, right or wrong? How much is this? 70.7%. And this is 50%. And this is 0%. So technically, these values indicate some percentage of something. I'll tell you what is that. Fine. Then I will tell you what is the meaning of. So now let's say, for you to understand, first of all, why are they numbers? Then we will go to the meaning of it. Okay, watch this. From this part, you learn you cannot add the angles just like the way you add the numbers. Your common sense kicked in immediately, and that told you, just like the way you add numbers, you cannot add angles. So you need a special tool to add the numbers, and you need a special tool to add the angles. Similarly, you need special tool to add the vectors. You need special tool to add the tensors. There are plenty of other things you will get introduced to in course of time. Got it? Now I ask a simple question. Here, the pen tip. You all see, I have a pen. I hold a pen in my hand. There's a tip, and this tip has traveled a particular distance on this board. What is the distance traveled by this pen tip on the board? You come forward and tell me. I want you to tell me what is the distance traveled by the tip of my pen on the board. Do anything, use anything that is available here, and do let me know. That's smart. 11 what? Thank you. So now it is 11 centimeter. Got it? Your friend has said it's a very simple and viable option. Now I have a different question. Now my pen has traveled some distance on the board. Measure and tell me.
That's a thread, I think.
Yes, that's a smart move. Extremely smart. You are smart. You want a thread. I don't have a thread, but you can use something like thread. Watch very carefully what your friend does here. Watch very carefully. He traced the curve. Now he straightens it. He converted an angular information into a linear information. And now he measures it using a scale. Fine. So 15 plus 2.3. Okay. 17.3. So this path length, thank you, sir. David, sit there. So 17.3 centimeters, kind of. Your friend has given an answer. Now let's imagine something is going to happen. This is our Earth. This is the sun. And this is our moon. You know, moon goes around the Earth every month. The revolution period of the moon is what? Every month, 27 days. So some days moon is here, some days moon is here, some days the moon. So when the moon is on this side, it is just near what's the sunlight area. It can receive the sunlight. And the moment when after 15 days the moon goes to the other side, it cannot receive the sunlight as efficiently. So now what happens? I have sent a satellite to observe the moon. I have sent a satellite towards the observe moon. So this is moon, this is sunlight, and my satellite is here. No problem. It directly receives the sunlight, so it can convert the sunlight into energy and it can use. After a while, this satellite will start to move and it will come to this part. When satellite comes to this part, between the satellite and sun there would be moon. So the satellite cannot receive the sunlight. So what should we do? We have to activate the batteries. We have to activate the batteries, right or wrong, sir? So I have to set a program in the system. After traveling this much of distance, activate the battery. I have to set a program in the system that after traveling this much of distance, activate the battery, right or wrong, sir? Right or wrong? So how do I measure the distance traveled now? See this, now the moon has traveled this distance from, sorry, the satellite has traveled this distance. Now I have to measure the curvature. How do I do it? Can I wait for the Chandrayaan 3 to come, take a big rope, go around, starting point and end point? Yes. Excellent, sir. Excellent, sir. So what are we supposed to do? We have to mark the starting point here, and the end point. So this is starting point, this is end point. You take any curvature, this is the starting point, this is end point. It could be anyway, other way around also. Fine, sir. Then I extend this curvature into a circle, and from the center of the curvature, I go to the starting point, and then I go to the end point. This difference is regarded as the angular difference theta. This difference is regarded as what, sir? The angular difference theta. In physics, we call it angular displacement. In physics, what do we call it? Angular displacement. Got it? In naturally, what do they call? Displacement. How much the body has traveled from the starting point. So now what do we call it? Angular displacement. The moment once this body goes around and comes back to the same spot, we call angular displacement is equal to either 360 or 0. Both are same. Got it? Got it? We have a different unit to measure it called radian, 2 pi. We can go on. Units are different. Just like the way, right, I try to say, right, the height of this building is 12 feet, I can say, or I can put it in meter, but it is not going to change the value of it, right? The quantity remains the same. Only my way of telling is different. Whether it is 2 pi or 3, same. The way I say is different. So I have to know when should I say what. Now comes the most important part here. If you recalled what your friend Rohit did, fine, sir. He just took a curvature, an angular information, and he straightened it as what? And exactly your trigonometry is doing that. Watch, your trigonometry is doing something exceptional. What does it do? It converts. I have an angle 90 degree. This 90 degree is converted into a number called 1 using a trigonometric relation. So hereafter, if someone asks you, what is trigonometry, which you learned in grade 10. If someone asks you, what is trigonometry? I expect you to say, trigonometry is a mathematical tool which can be used to convert an angle into a number. Why should you convert an angle into a number? Because basic arithmetic operations like addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division is precarious when it comes to handling the angles in its native form. So what do? I use a function, mathematical tool, to convert it into easily handleable numbers. Then I add, multiply, divide, whatever the function that I want to do. Then once everything is done, I can reverse the process. I can get the angle. What do you call that process? You all must be knowing it. Reverse in trigonometric function or inverse trigonometric function. Sine inverse of 1 is equal to 90 degrees. Sine inverse of 0 is equal to 0 degree, kind of. So inverse trigonometric functions, they convert what into what? They convert numbers into angle. Got the idea? அப்போ ஒரு சம் சால்வ் பண்ணிட்டே வர திடீர்னு ஒரு இடத்துல உனக்கு 2-3 ஆங்கிள்ஸ் ஆட் பண்ண வேண்டிய சிச்சுவேஷன் வந்து நியூமெரிக்கல் சால்வ் பண்ணிட்டே வர. So you face a situation where you have to add a few angles, but you know very well if you jump into the addition process straight away, you are going to get caught. You are getting into trouble. You see that it's an ambush. Fine, you are getting into a trap. Right or wrong? அப்போ உங்களுக்கு immediately what should kick in? Okay, somewhere if I am stuck there, then I can try this trick. What is it? I can use one of the trigonometric functions and I can convert. The given angle into a number, and then I proceed. Got the idea? Do you get it? So that is the main key I want you children to understand. ஏன்னா உங்க எல்லாருக்குமே நியூமெரிக்கல் ப்ராப்ளம் சால்வ் பண்றது தான் டிஃபிகல்ட். நீங்க கொஞ்சம் கிளாஸ் ரூம் சினாரியோ யோசிச்சு பாருங்களேன். உங்க டீச்சர் ஏதோ ஒரு கொஸ்டின் கொடுத்துட்டாங்க உங்ககிட்ட போர்டில், and you start to solve the problem. You keep on solving the problem. One particular point you get stuck. You cannot proceed furthermore. So you wait for the teacher. Teacher comes on rounds. வந்து ஒருத்தர் நோட்புக்காக பார்க்குறாங்க. Fine, that's what I do. அப்போ அவங்க என்ன பண்றாங்க? You are stuck at a particular spot and teacher says, இது மாத்து, அது அங்க பாரு, அது போடு. That's it. You take it there on, you pick up and go. Right or wrong, sir? Right or wrong? That is very important thing because it is the practical experience what we come up every day. Am I right? அப்போ ஏதாவது ஒரு ஸ்பாட்ல நீங்க ஸ்டக் ஆகி நிற்கும் போது then you need to know. ஏன் உங்களுக்கு தெரியல? Because conceptually you are not clear, the teacher is clear. If it comes in this way, the next remedial step has to be this. அந்த மாதிரி உங்களுக்கு angular differences வந்து add பண்ணும்போது obviously your regular method if you are going to use, you are definitely going to find it's a difficult one. You need to understand. See, best example I will give for this. What do you mean by averaging? Just tell me. In mathematics, we have a process called as averaging process. We'll say that I'll say that averaging process, then I'll come back to it. What do you mean by averaging process? Average பண்றதுன்னா என்ன? When do you average generally anything? Yes, that is the process of averaging. Call it the SS, the sum and mean. Fine, sir. What do you mean by averaging? Why do we have to average it? To check the real value of group of numbers? Approximate value? A group of numbers? Okay. Yesterday, I read it in today's newspaper morning. Yesterday, Chennai's temperature was somewhere around 38 degrees Celsius. 38 degrees Celsius. Chennai's temperature yesterday was very hot. Okay. So you tell me, was Chennai at 38 degrees Celsius throughout the day? Then? Yes, morning it was 28, 30, 31, 32. It might have gone 40 also. It would have peaked at the mid of noon. Yes. Am I right, children? Yes. Then why did they write 38? Yes, to get the average perception of the information. Excellent. So that any value which is continuously changing. See, for example, let's say, what's the distance between you and me? Approximately 2 meters, maybe. Let's take it 2 meters. Now tell me what's the distance between you and me? Is it 3.5 now? Tell me, sir. Now, yes, tell me. You cannot come to conclusion. Why? Yes, sir. Constantly improving. Awesome. So here, the point here is, when a particular value is continuously changing, it becomes unusable. So you need what? Sir, you are keep changing your position, sir. Approximately, I'll tell you, on average, you are at a distance of 8 feet from me. Alright? That's the point. So yesterday, the temperature was continuously changing. So your friend averaged it and he told, they have written it in the paper, like 38. So when it comes to the process of averaging, now comes to the mathematical part of it. How do we average the value? Very simple. Let me take, I observed the temperature in morning 10 o'clock, I observed it was around 30 degrees Celsius. Then 12 o'clock, I observed it was 37 degrees Celsius. Then I measured it at evening 4 o'clock. Then it was around 30 degrees Celsius again, kind of. Then night it was 28 degrees Celsius. Then finally I divided by 2 or 4. I divided by total number. Right or wrong, sir? So I average. Agreed? Yes, let's take a situation too. You all must have studied in your grade 10. There are two kinds of currents. Direct current and alternating current. What's the meaning of alternating current? Mritula, I did not hear your voice yet. Yes. Tell me, Mritula, what's the difference between the direct current and alternating currents? Mula, I'm not able to hear you. Okay, never mind. Anyone? Very good. It keeps changing its direction. You know very well, the direct currents are generally denoted only on the positive axis, and the alternating currents are shown in positive as well as negative axis. I hope you remember this picture. Am I right? So let's say this is going to be the current I, this is going to be the time t. It's an IT graph, current versus time graph. So the current at a particular time 0 is 0. After some time, the current has come towards the maximum level. From this socket, I am getting approximately 5 ampere. Fine. From that socket, I am getting around 16 ampere. Fine. So let me just calculate it. And here I get what, sir? Minus 5 ampere. Then again, this is the place I get approximately plus 3 ampere. And this is the place I get what? Minus 3 ampere. So for a course of time, I measured all the currents. Now what I do, I'm going to average it. Let's average. Okay, what's the first value we observe? 5 ampere. Then, sir, minus 5 ampere. Then, sir, 3 ampere. Then, minus 3 ampere. Whole divided by 4. What is the average current used by me in course of time? Then, my average current is equal to 0 ampere. Power is equal to voltage multiplied by current. So the average power is equal to average voltage multiplied by average current. So according to this equation, average power consumed by me for the entire 1 month is equal to 0 watt. So when the EB fellow comes, I will tell him according to the averaging technique. Yes, sir. It is okay. I'll tell you something. You take your remote control car. You press the button forward. Your wheel turns clockwise. So the car is moving forward. You put the button backward. The current goes backward. How? The car goes backward. How? The current is switching its direction backward. Yes, of course we are using current only, but in the opposite direction, right? What do we say? In case of any graphical representation of this kind, if anything that moves in this direction, we call it plus, and in this direction, we call it minus. But when I ask you to average, you would be definitely averaging in that way, right? Mathematically, we say it. I understand that. What do we say is different? My whole point is that. What do we say is different? What do we calculate is different? As you said, the current is truly a quantity and it cannot be negative if you say so. Even then, money is also what, sir? A quantity that exists. And if I say my bank account is minus 4,000, what does it mean? Yes. Does it really exist? Can I go and say that to the bank manager? He will get me arrested. Got it? Got the idea? So money exists, right, sir? Money exists, right? Can I go and say money exists? It cannot be negative. Then, if it is applicable to the current, it is applicable to the money too. So here we go. So I go and tell the EB wala, dear EB man, the average current which I measured yesterday, today, and tomorrow appears to be 0. So the total current used by me for the month is 0. So I will not pay any fee. What will happen? Am I right? Averaging. So we have a technique called as I start to square all the values. Once I square all the values will turn into what's a positive. Then I take the mean. But the squaring is the process which I did as an extra process. Am I right? Now I have to remedy that extra. What is the remedy of squaring? What is the opposite of squaring? Root. Excellent, sir. So, very good. So, first I squared, then I took the mean value. Now I am going to take the root of it. This calculation is called as the RMS calculation. Root means squared value. Got it? That means my regular averaging will not be applicable if my values are fluctuating both in positive and negative coordinates. Regular method of this kind of averaging is called as arithmetic averaging. This kind of averaging is called as arithmetic averaging. So arithmetic averaging will work. Arithmetic averaging will work if the values are progressing in the same direction. If it is positive, only positive. If it is negative, only negative. So arithmetic progression can be used in that way. When it comes to my values are fluctuating both in positive and negative, and I want to get a tangible number out of it, then what should I do? I have to go with a special category averaging called as root mean averaging. That is root square rates or root mean squared averaging. Root mean squared averaging. Got the idea here? அப்போ ஒரு டெக்னிக்கும் மேத்தமேட்டிக்கல் மெத்தட் நீங்க கத்து ஏற்கனவே வச்சிருக்கிறது, they have their own limitation canopy. அந்த லெவலுக்கு மேல they have their own service ceiling. Beyond that you cannot lift them up. அங்கே போனா அதோட structural stability நல்லா இருக்காது. Every aircraft comes with what? Its own service ceiling. இந்த particular built aircraft இவ்வளவு height தான் போகும். அதுக்கு மேல போனா pressure differenceனால structural stability போயிடும். Something like that. Got it? So we have got what's the service ceiling for every equation, every mathematical method that we have learned so far. So you need to understand all these intricacies, only then you will be able to substitute the value. See, for example, you are keep deriving something. For best example, let's take this fan is spinning now. This fan is spinning. Let's take some practical example here. Let me take the center of the fan as my axis. Center of the fan as my axis. Okay, fan is spinning. Let's imagine the fan is spinning. You take the bob of the fan, the center round part of the fan, and அங்கே தான் என்ன பண்றீங்க, ஒரு கிராஃப் போடுங்க. நீங்க ஒரு வெர்டிகலா ஒரு லைன், ஹாரிசான்டலா ஒரு லைன் போட்டிங்கன்னா என்ன கிடைக்கும், உங்களுக்கு ஒரு XY coordinate system கிடைக்கும். இந்த மாதிரி you will get an XY coordinate system. Am I right? And you just take one of the wings. மூணு விங்ல ஏதோ ஒரு விங்ல ஒரு கலர் ஒன்று பண்ணிடுங்க. And I want you to locate that wing. எங்க இருக்குன்னு கால்குலேட் பண்ண ட்ரை பண்ணுங்க. Sometimes it will be in positive, sometimes it will be in negative. Sometimes it will be in positive, sometimes it will be in negative. Right or wrong, sir? Because it goes right and left continuously. So it's a repeated function. Agreed or not? So இந்த மாதிரி கண்டிஷன் அதோட ஆவரேஜ் டிஸ்பிளேஸ்மெண்ட் என்ன கால்குலேட் பண்ணணும்னா என்ன பண்ணி ஆகணும்? I have to go with what? The root mean square root. So இதே இடத்துல நிக்குதுன்னா ப்ராப்ளம் இல்லை. So let's take something that is spinning as well as moving forward, just like our earth. Our earth is rotating, right, about its own axis, and also it is revolving around the sun. Right or wrong? So you just take it. Definitely earth has got what? Some displacement. It definitely has got some displacement. You need to calculate how much is. So for all these small situations practically in our life, fine sir, the mathematical right tool has to be taken. The right tool has to be taken. See, I have a special pen here. I have a pen. I bought this pen. Right? A friend of mine gifted it to me. Fine sir, I have a pen here. What did they say? You know, sir, you take this pen. You can use it for writing on board, and also you can erase, and you can stick it. Happy? Now I have to clean the entire board. So use this or this. Why? Just because I can use this, it is not necessary that I have to always use it. All right? ஒரு ஹேண்டி டூல், தட்ஸ் இட். அந்த மாதிரி எல்லாத்துக்கும் ஓகே இந்த ப்ராசஸ் வேணுமா, இந்த டூல் எடுத்து யூஸ் பண்ணுங்க, ஈஸியர். இந்த ப்ராசஸ் பண்ணணுமா, இந்த டூல் எடுத்து, ஏன் சார் இதை வச்சு அழிக்க முடியாத, பண்ணலாம், டிஃபிகல்ட்டா இருக்கும். ஜஸ்ட் லைக் த வே யுவர் ஃப்ரெண்ட் செட், இஃப் யூ, ஏன் சார் என்னால் வந்து ரைட் ஆங்கிள் ட்ரையாங்கிளை வச்சு ஒரு ட்ரிக்னோமெட்ரிக் ஃபங்க்ஷனை ப்ரூவ் பண்ண முடியாதா, பண்ணலாம். பட் இன் அவர் டே டு டே லைஃப் everything is not a perfectly right angle triangle. What you have to do is you have to identify the right angle pattern in any non-right angle triangle. See, for example, you can take some non-right angle triangle like this, and you have to identify a right angle pattern. How? You are supposed to draw two imaginary lines, and you have two diagonals. You have two hypotenuse. Now you have two triangles. One big triangle that has got an hypotenuse, and one small triangle that has got an hypotenuse. It's a two-way job. Right or wrong? If you stick to your right angle method alone, then your job, your process becomes doubled. What I suggest is, You don't have to actually do it. Learn a new trick to understand how the cos theta works. So this is going to be plus cos theta. This is going to be 180 degree minus theta, which is minus cos theta. If you use it, you will get the answer straight away. Do you understand what I speak? So when you come across any situation like this, can't I use my right angle technique all the time? Yes, you can use, for which you have to assume two imaginary lines. Then later you have to eliminate it. I will tell you that I will teach that elimination method also too. And I will teach this easy method also. Both. We will learn both as the time comes. Do you understand, children? So more or like today, I am not sounding like a physics teacher. I am sounding more like what, sir? Math teacher, because I am speaking the language. I am teaching the alphabets to ABC. Because without math, you cannot comprehend physics. Okay? You all understand? Right. So let's circle back to this part of trigonometry. I asked you a question, so I am not going to leave you empty-handed. So let's imagine a person starts from one point and he goes on a curvature and he stops at some. Okay, a person is running around a circle, let's imagine. So I'm going to take circle. Imagine this as a perfect circle. Fine, sir. So I have the center point here. This is the center point of the circle. So now I'm going to mark, what do you call this? Call it radius R. We call it radius R. So imagine a person is here. This is the place the person is. And this person now going to go around. He is running. And now this person has come to this point. Person has now come to this point. See, this is the arc traveled by him with some speed omega, some speed omega. Okay. And he ran for a duration of omega over a better arc. He ran for a duration of 5 seconds, let's suppose, and he has come to this point. Noted? Inge vantaru ipo. Okay. Now I ask you, you know very well, if you just try to plot this as a graph, now this man's location has traveled both in y-axis, also in x-axis little bit here. Am I right? Right or wrong, sir? So if you just try to represent this man's position, if you consider this as a graph entirely, the circle, this is the current position of the man, the place from where he started. Just for your convenience, I am drawing this. So if I plot this graph, how do I represent this point? This point can be written as minus x comma positive. Can we write it like that? Can we write it like that? Minus x comma positive y? Can we? As this man continues to go, this position is going to vary. Sometimes he will come to what, sir? Plus x and minus y, and it can go on. He will go on, go around. Agreed or not? Am I right? So something like that, this man has gone somewhere. Now I want to know, only along y-axis, how much did he displace? How much height has he elevated himself? This is the question. Only along y-axis, how much this man did travel? Let alone the x-axis. X-axis அவர் எவ்வளவு போனாருன்னு later பார்க்கலாம். y-axisல இப்போ இவர் எவ்வளவு தூரம் போயிருக்காருன்னு பார்க்கலாம். So y-axisல அவர் எவ்வளவு தூரம் போயிருக்காரு? Very simple. I can draw a dotted line here. Then I take the scale and I mark it here. This is the distance traveled. Do you agree? Do you agree? So this is the distance traveled. Am I right? Am I right? Okay. Vertically, what is the maximum distance this man can travel? Vertically, what is the maximum distance this man can travel? Observe and tell me. what could be the maximum distance this man can travel along the vertical axis if he runs all the way. Did you understand my question? Onliners, did you understand my question? Sadhana, did you understand my question? What was my question? So this man is going around. What could be the maximum distance he can cover vertically? Excellent. It is radius. It is radius, right? So the 100% he can make on the vertical axis should be what, sir? The radius. So watch this very carefully. Like last time I taught, this is his starting point, this is his end point. If I try connecting the starting and end point using a line, that marks an angle. So the moment when this angle becomes 30°, he might have crossed out of the entire 100%, he might have crossed 50%. That's what sine is. So the moment when he starts to move a little further, his angular difference will increase. Now the angle has become 45°. So when the angular difference is 45° across the vertical height, he might have traveled how much? 70.7% of the maximum height he could travel. When this point comes here, it is 60°. He might have traveled how much? 86.6% of the maximum height he can travel. So when he comes to this part, he has reached 90°. 100% of the vertical height what he can travel, he has traveled already. So if he continues to travel, can he raise more than 100%? No. What will happen furthermore? Value will start to decrease. That's the reason why after the 90°, sine value starts to decrease. And sine 180° becomes what? 0. Sine 180 becomes what, sir? 0. That means what? The man started from here, he went all the way and he has come back to here. He has come back to here. What is it? 0. Yes, -1. Here. So if the graph upside is positive, lower one is negative. Got it? This is why sine 0 is 0. Sine 90 is 1. Suppose instead of calculating his displacement along the vertical axis, if I try to learn it only along what's that? Horizontal axis, then that becomes the cosine, complementary sine. What do you mean by complementary? 90°. Sine and cosine are complementary. They are orthogonal. They are complementary. They are right perpendicular. Got the idea? So I'll tell you something very interesting here. The difference between the sine theta and sine cos theta and the cosine. So we have two terms. Sine, children, you are not taking notes. The problem, a sharp pencil is better than strong memory. இப்போ எல்லாம் கேட்குற புரியுற மாதிரியே இருக்கும். இப்போ கேட்கும் போது எல்லாம் புரியுற மாதிரியே இருக்கும். ஒரு 10 days கழிச்சு பார்த்தா எல்லாம் evaporate ஆயிடும். Our minds are built like that. That's why I suggest you children to always take notes, running notes. Whatever that you have understood, you have to describe then and there. Not just only the diagrams which I have drawn on board. What you have understood from my words, you can just write that as a small script, right? Some note. And I've been observing Sadhana right since the moment one. She has been recording everything. She's writing everything. And she makes detailed note, I guess. Good practice, very good practice. Don't ever change this. People may tell you otherwise. You are overdoing stuff. Don't ever change. I heard that comment earlier. Okay? Noted? I'll teach you something. You all know there are some words like, what do you mean by tangent? What do you mean by tangent? Is it a point or a line? Very good, sir. It's a line which touches just one point of a curvature. What is a chord? A line that touches 2 points of a curve. Am I right? So, like that, we have two chords for any circle, two major chords. What are they? Diameters. So, horizontal diameter and vertical diameter. So, I have two chords that are perpendicular to each other. Let's talk about the chord. Fine, sir. And I'm going to draw a chord now. Let's take a circle. Let's take a circle. For this circle, I can draw two chords. So this is going to be the chord number 1. The vertical chord. Okay. So the vertical chord drawn is called as the sine. And half of the sine is equal to what's a sine theta. Just take it. Got it? So imagine that the man started from here, he ran up to this point. So I mark this as an angle. So this is going to be theta. Now tell me, suppose if I take this as the radius, fine, sir. And what is sine theta? This half of this one, this part is called as what's a the sine theta. Part is called as sine theta. Got it? Got it? Yes. And similarly, you can consider a circle. This time, instead of a vertical chord, I am going to draw a horizontal chord. I'm going to draw what's a horizontal chord. So let me draw a horizontal chord. Okay, so this is the place, this is my standard location, and this is going to be my point. So this is the distance which I am going to calculate. So what do you call this side? This is called as this entire chord. This entire chord is called as what's a cosine, and the half of this chord is called as what's a this much alone. This much alone is called as what's a cos theta. So this is equal to this. So let me take this as cos theta. So let me write it in this. This is going to be cos. Got it? Now use the Pythagorean theorem and tell me. Use the Pythagorean theorem and tell me what is R value? R squared is equal to sine square theta plus cos square theta. This is how sine square theta plus cos square theta is equal to 1 came for a unit circle. What do you mean by unit circle? A circle whose radius is 1. So the moment when I make the radius 1, sine square theta plus cos square theta equal. Got it? So what have we learned here today? So far you have been believing, that is, you know little bit of sine theta, little bit of cos theta, little bit of tan theta, and now you get to see what is sine, what is cos, what is tan in its reality. What are they exactly? Got it? It's our job just to explain you the things here. So as you can see here, as the angular difference is increasing, you are actually going up and down with respect to the linear. So technically this trigonometric function is a mathematical tool that helps me not just only with the right angle triangles, but with any type of triangle. Fine, sir. It helps me what, sir? To identify or convert the angular values into linear values. So why should I convert them? Because converting them makes it simpler for me to subject them towards a arithmetic operation. So algebra is a more tool. No second opinion about it. But algebra has its own limit. So sometimes we have to go little beyond algebra, some sophisticated tool, right, which we have to use. That is our trigonometry. Even beyond that, we have calculus. Little more than that, we have tensors. And so many other mathematical tools are. So with this, I stop my class today, and my name is Flying Officer Raman. Okay, I'm Raman. Raman, R-A-M-A-N, learn with Raman. Okay, so learn with, okay, I'm Ram. Fine, sir. I teach the children of JEE classes. Okay, JEE mains and advanced trainer I am in a school, reputed school here. Besides that, I am doing this work. Also, I have been teaching for about 17 years. You are my 17th batch. Okay, I served in Indian Army earlier, and due to my injury, I came out. Now I attached myself to the GIS, Ground Instructor School. I teach to the Air Force cadets regarding the flights. I used to fly aircrafts. You can see that I have done a project to the NASA. It has come down in the paper. Fine. So that's my profile. Besides that, I have done advanced mathematics course from Harvard University with my scholarship which I got from NASA. And also I have done my basic mechanics from MIT, USA. Yes. Fine, sir. So that's my profile. And presently I am pursuing PhD in biophysics from IIT Madras. Yes. That's my profile. Fine. So you all good luck. Fine. And one more thing, today's class is very smooth and breezy class, and I'll try my level best to keep all the classes with the same temperature. Fine. Let's see. But definitely you will have to work more. You'll have to work more. You have to run. See, when I joined Indian Military Academy for the first day, right, I saw this big board, very big board in the Indian Military Academy. Indian Military Academy, have you heard of? It's in Dehradun, okay? So there's a very big board. There it is written, if you can run 5 kilometers a day, my job make you run 10 kilometers. If you can run 10 kilometers a day, my job is to make you run 20 kilometers. If you cannot, then this is not the place. By Indian Army trainer, Ustad we call him. Fine. So you will have to work more. So how do you start? Children, always remember, they may tell you study from S.L. Arora, study from Modern ABC, study from H.C. Verma. Don't believe in it. One exceptional book that is in your hand is NCERT textbook. NCERT, can anyone tell me what is NCERT? National Council for Educational Research. NCERT stands for National Council for Educational Research and Training. So the textbook what the government has provided to you has come out after educational research. It is done by social scientists. The children, right? The scientists, they have calculated what would be the vocabulary of a kid of maybe you are 13, 14-year-old. Fine, sir, 13, 14-year-old child, how much vocabulary would be in a child, and based on that, they have optimized the language of the textbook. So you definitely do not require any advanced book than your NCERT. If anything that is advanced, leave it to the adults. We take care. Got it? So you need three study materials in your life. One is the class notes. 100% undivided attention of yours in any class, be it not just in Raman's class. It can be in any teacher's class. Make sure that you are attentive in the class 100% to the core. Then make note of everything. Then go back to home. Pick your textbook, read it. You have an idea in the class. In the teacher's language, you heard it. You have an idea in the class. Then in textbook language, you read it. You will get an idea. These two ideas should coincide. Not necessarily both the languages to coincide, but these ideas should coincide. Got it? If you have any discrepancy there, what's the next thing to do? Choose a right person in your class. Discuss with. நான் இந்த பேஜ் படிச்சேன்டா எனக்கு இது தோணுது உனக்கு என்ன தோணுது then cross verify and come back. See children, I am carrying right something in my hand. What is it? Yes, smart fellow. Is it a credit card or a debit card? Is it a credit card or a debit card? Say something, be my guest. Credit card. Okay, he said it's a credit card, sir. Got it? Yes, it's a credit card. Okay, which bank card it could be? HSBC. Very good, sir. Hong Kong and Shanghai Banking Corporation. I think they have done doing business long back in India. They have closed their branch. Fine. So your friend has guessed it as what's a HSBC credit card. Credit card or debit card? It's written. What is it? Yes. So your friend has guessed it. It is HSBC credit card. Now he saw the truth. It is ICICI Bank debit card. Fine. Now what is it? So earlier you had an idea. You saw this. Your mind developed an idea. If I did not correct you, you would have lived with that idea forever, which is wrong. Now you cross-verified it with. You got the truth in hand. I call this process as education. Got it? So whenever any situation comes across, you should get some idea about it. If you refrain that idea within you, that could be right, that could not be right. Because you are children, young minds, learners. And you should always cut a slack that you have highest probability of committing mistakes. So when you cross-verify that with the experts, already in the learners, right, sir? The people who have already learned it already. Fine, sir. So that you will get the clarity. You will get to know what is it exactly. So you get it. That's why most important thing is listening. Water, 25%. Fine, sir. You learning it, 25%. Then discussion and doubt clarification, 25%. Then practicing is 25%. So put together you become 100. There are 4 stages in learning. One is listening, then is processing, then is discussing and clarifying, and finally practicing. Abhyas. Fine. Shravanam is the first half, first quarter. First pada is Shravana. Fine. And Yojana, the second pada. Fine. Then Darga. Fine, sir. That is discussion. Is the third quarter. And Abhyasa, practicing, is the fourth quarter. Got it? God bless you all. See you on Tuesday, maybe? Tuesday evening. If you feel like the class is good, do let me know through your parents. Fine, sir. So Tuesday evening, and Tuesdays and Thursdays, henceforth, evening, 6 o'clock to 7:30 will be your physics. So like this, you have to keep your video on, fine, so that I can get to know whether are you listening to me or not. And often you have to open your mic and you have to say, sir, you be like this. Don't change yourself. Fine. Be responsive all the time. Fine, sir. So, see you children. Hoping to see you. Bye. Yes.